evening, everyone. It's Wednesday. It's that time again of 8 o'clock, and it's spiritual talk time. And welcome. And hello, Paul. How you doing, mate?
Hello, mate. Good. It's Wednesday again. It's come around really quickly, isn't it?
They get faster and faster, I'm sure of it.
It does. It really does. And we've got another great guest this evening. Guys, don't forget to comment and share as well. We'd like to know whereabouts in the world you're watching us from too.
Yeah, definitely.
And we got some great guests coming up, mate. But we got a great guest tonight as well. I mean, do we let the cat out of the bag about our little secret?
Yeah, why not?
I think we should, shouldn't we? About our pre-recorded interview we had with the lovely Elaine Thorpe and her guy Jonathan.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
It's purely 45 minutes with Jonathan, obviously Elaine, but that's coming up very, very soon. So one to look out for. We have the lovely Jane Dance next week. I believe that's right. Yeah. But we should say hello to a few people that are coming on, mate, as well.
Yeah, definitely. You go first.
Yeah, hello to Carol. Carol's on, and Paul Cook and Teresa.
And Jane, and hello, Sharon. And lovely to see you again on the show. And I'm sure more people will be joining us shortly as well. How's your week been, Paul? Anything spiritual happened?
Good. No, actually, I've been seeing some phenomenon. Actually, I saw some things moving around the house, which has been quite interesting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's something trying to grab my attention. And I keep seeing things moving, so it's quite interesting. I can't actually see it at the moment. I'm just picking it up, but it keeps showing a different phenomenon. So I'm quite enjoying that one.
Oh, nice.
Okay, let's talk about our guest, Max. I'm really excited about our guest tonight because
Val Hood, isn't it?
It is. It's Val Hood for those guys that have seen the advert. But she not only is she live tonight, but we really are grateful that she's come on live because she's all the way in Sydney, Australia right now. And they've got the storms as well. And it's about 5 o'clock in the morning. So good morning, Val, and welcome to Spiritual Talk.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Get those matchsticks out.
Yeah, you can't see them. I've got invisible ones.
Well, you're looking very glamorous for 5 o'clock in the morning. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
So you guys, thank you.
Yeah, we can't. Oh, we got Facebook users. I'm sorry, we can't see who that is. Please let us know your name. They're in South Africa.
They're in South Africa, so it's international now.
Brilliant. So, Val, how did it all start for you?
The journey to Australia or my mediumship?
Your mediumship. We'd like to go right back. We'd like to go right back.
I think like a lot of people, you know, at the age of 7, I was seeing spirit, and I was seeing the spirit of my nan who passed when I was 7. We moved into a house and I knew she was dead, but I kept seeing her, and it was the most terrifying experience. I didn't tell anybody because I thought they'd think I was crazy. Well, I am, but I don't care anymore. I don't care what people think about me and what I do. But I learned to, I dealt with that until I was 16. And then I said, sorry, guys, can't deal with this. You're going to have to go away and leave me alone. But I actually made them a promise. And I don't know why I did this, but I said, when I'm ready, when I understand, I'll let you back in. So they obviously listened to that. And I've realized now that when you have that dialogue with spirit, they listen to you. They respect you and your wishes. So from the age of 16 until 34, when I walked into a spiritualist church in West Wickham, they left me alone to get on with my life. And then it was open the door. And, you know, now I'm doing what I'm doing. So that was in a nutshell, by the way. So it's been, it's been an incredible journey, really. But and then doing my training through the church and through the SNU training, and very, very lucky to have all, they were all Gordon Higginson trained tutors.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet the man? Well,
no, I didn't. I started going off up to the Arthur Findlay College after he'd actually passed. I think that's how it happened. So it was around about that time, but I didn't actually get to meet him, which is really sad.
Yeah, great man. And as people are watching, there's many good videos online with Gordon, some of his tutorials and philosophy, etc. on YouTube. Check him out, guys. Well worth. He's pretty old school, and he's pretty damn good.
The trance as well, what he did was fascinating as well.
Although he's not really known for the trance, is he? As well, although he did do trance.
Yeah.
But he's not as well known. but there's some great tutorials and sessions with him demonstrating as well. One particularly in Edinburgh that I really enjoyed. But yeah, well worth looking that one up, because he talks about the Undertaker who's measuring him up for a coffin. It's really funny.
I use that as an example of when I'm talking about Gordon all the time. Oh, he's measuring me up for a box. Goodness gracious. It's just so incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Val, you're teaching now?
Yes. I've been teaching for many years, but I teach over here, which is, fabulous.
Yeah.
And what sorts of teaching spiritually do you do for groups of people?
Well, I take people from beginners to right up to, where they don't need me anymore, which is lovely. And I've done trance teaching, but I've actually walked away from trance teaching, because where my mediumship grew and my development with mediumship and teaching grew, it didn't with trance. So I didn't feel comfortable enough to carry on teaching trance. So maybe one day down the track, I don't know, but teaching mediumship development, psychic mediumship is very, very important. And it's lovely. I don't know if you guys teach, I can't remember that bit about you, but when you get somebody that comes into your class and they've never done anything before, and at the end of a day they're going, oh, I just did a message from spirit. It's just wonderful. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's as nice watching someone else to open up and blossom that way as it is for ourselves in that unique way as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And it's funny because I've just so over the last 2 years with lockdown, I've actually pushed myself so much. I've got a very croaky voice, and as a result of the 2.5 years of doing so much online, I've actually burnt my throat out. So I've actually pulled back. And I'm only doing my lives once a week, and I've pulled back with my teaching until the new year, because I just need to heal the voice. So we're both in the same situation, Anthony.
Yeah.
Can I take you back a little bit, Val, to your development and your own unfoldment? And there's a lot of people that will be listening or tuning in, or whether they're on catch up or watching tonight, that are on their own journeys, that are experiencing their own things as well. What was it like in the early stages for you? Was there any pitfalls or things you think of now you wish you'd avoided? Or I know it's all about our growth and learning, but is there anything you wish you'd done differently or focused on more?
Well, okay. And this is not about ego, but I always look now and I say to my students, I wish I had somebody like me as a teacher when I was starting off. Some of them were very old school and very, they didn't come on, darling, let's stand with you and let's make sure that you got this right and let's work this out. But there were teachers that were. I mean, the teachers that I had at the Arthur Findlay College and a great teacher of mine, Geraldine Ford, used to do that. She used to stand by the side of me and say, right, I said, I've got a book. What's the title? I don't know. Well, look at the spine. I can't see it. Well, give me the subject matter. She would really, really push me. And that's what I've learned to do with the students. And I've made them realize that when you actually push yourselves, you can do so much more, because it's that trust with spirit. But, I had so much fear when I first started. I sat in a development circle at the church, and there were 15 to 20 people a month in the group, and they'd go all the way around the group and they'd be they had so much wonderful, flowery, fluffy stuff, and they'd come to me and say, what have you got? And I go, nothing. Because I was terrified to make myself look a fool. So I didn't say anything, but I've been sharing these stories with my students, because I said fear is our biggest enemy. It is our biggest enemy. And if we can learn to step out of that fear, and what I've been teaching the students, have you ever seen the M&M adverts on the telly?
Yeah.
Right, and the man goes to the cupboard and he opens the door and he says, get in the bowl. And the M&M says, no, you get in the bowl. So what I've done is I've tweaked it, and I've said, right, you have to park your ego on the wall. And when they go back into their head, and you can see that as a teacher, I say, get on the wall, get on the wall. And they all go, oh, okay. But you can see that they're here and they're thinking. And the lovely Margaret Challenger says, if you're thinking, you are not linking. And I absolutely love that. that phrase, and it's true
brilliant.
because it's not. It is brilliant, but it's not. It's not about us.
I'm nicking that.
I'm going to take that too.
I nicked it too, and I told her I've nicked it, and I thought it was brilliant. But if you are thinking, you are not linking. And when you hear the students, they say, "Oh, I think." No, stop it. You're not there. You're out of your head. You're in your head. You're off the wall. So I say, go back, get your ego out of the way, and that happens a lot as well. Is ego takes over, and it isn't about us and our ego. It's about that connection to spirit. And this is one of the things that many years ago, my teachers said, it's you can't. I got pulled over the coals once with a demonstration that I did, and they said it was all psychic. And I got off and I went, it wasn't psychic, but psychic was a dirty word all those years ago. Now you can mix and blend the psychic and the mediumship, and it's acceptable. So,
On that though, Val, psychic is kind of Latin for soul, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the whole it kind of gets me as well when people say, "Oh, you can't go psychic," but surely that's part of the process. You're blending with that person's soul, the sitter, and obviously the loved one that's coming in. So there's a process of going psychic anyway.
Yeah.
So I never understand that one. I'm never sure.
Why do you feel, Val, it was considered as a dirty word, or they pull away from the psychic connection more?
Well, in those days, and I'm talking 30 plus years ago, we used to get these most fantastic mediums like Gordon that used to come to our churches. We had Ivy Northridge. I can't think of the names of people. Ron Perry, Ron Heron, all these fantastic names of people. And they had such a direct link with the spirit world. And you knew that they were speaking for spirit. Yeah. And I think that things have obviously evolved over the years and things have changed. And, our modern day is much different to the latter day. They didn't have all the interferences that we have. And I'm not using that as an excuse, but, we've got all these radio things going on. But I think it actually mixes it up a little bit when you use psychic as well as mediumship. And I think it makes you more of an all-round medium. But I used to get on platform and be, especially on my own church platform, and I'd be absolutely terrified because I can't get it wrong. I've got to stay with spirit. It was really frightening. But anyway, I pushed past that, and the other thing was that there were a group of us that about 5 of us, and we decided that we wanted to go and do stage shows. And oh my gosh, I got it in the neck for doing that as well. And they said, it should stay within the churches. And I said, well, with respect, the people in the churches believe in spirit. You already know that they're there. The people outside don't.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. So
and
that was
I think that's the best thing, isn't it? Seeing a skeptic in an audience-based setting suddenly change, and oh, wow, there's more to this than meets the eye,
Yeah,
so, absolutely. Sorry, go.
I was going to say, we got questions coming in already, Val. Can we go to some questions already?
Yeah.
So, Carol,
I can't see any of your questions. But
what I'll do is I'll pop them up on screen. I can read them to you.
Yeah, thank you. I can see them now.
So, Carol was asked, what was the first way spirit started working with you, or did they try different ways until they decided which was best?
I used to get on platform and go, oh my gosh, what are you doing to me today? Okay, I'll just deal with it. Whatever you give me, I'm going to deal with. And every time I worked, especially when I got past the beginning stages, they would change up how I worked. One day I'd go direct, the next day I wouldn't go direct, the next day I'd be getting my messages this way, and then and it was always different. And yes, I think, Carol, what they were doing, they were finding the niche. But now I don't have a niche because I just open my mouth and it just comes out, and whatever comes out comes out. And I actually love that, and I feel comfortable and safe with that because I've lost the fear.
Yeah. Carol's also asked another question. When did you have I heard that right? When you did trance, how did you manage to move yourself out to let spirit take over? I got there eventually.
Oh, that was a difficult one for me, because I like to be in control of myself. I always have been, and I feel that when you actually let yourself, so okay, using my analogy of get on the wall, not only did I have to put my ego on the wall, I had to put my whole spirit to one side to be able to let spirit utilize my body. And I didn't like that feeling at all. It was the most uncomfortable thing for me. But I learned to do it. And it wasn't when I was teaching trance, I didn't have to go into that trance state. I had my students go into the trance state and I watched them. So it was a comfortable situation for me. But I don't particularly like doing trance because of that. I'm an Aquarian, so I'm a control person.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad was one of them. How long did it take you overall, though, Val, with trance? How long did it take you to, get involved with that form of connecting with spirit?
Oh gosh, very early on, because when you go to the Arthur Findlay College, you've got tutors there that are demonstrating trance all the time. There's always somebody that's doing it. And I'm going back to 1992. Fantastic mediums. My first teacher ever was Simone Key, who was incredible. And when she goes into trance, it's, you cannot doubt that she's in trance because there's no Simone there. But it was not something I had a go. And I had a not nice experience in a group that I was with. And I felt that somebody was taking control of me, but it felt like it was somebody within the group. And we were all newbies. Yeah, we were all newbies at the time. So we didn't know what we were doing. So from that moment, I went, no, that's not for me. So I'll teach it, but I won't do it.
Right.
Okay, sorry, I'm just changing these banners. Carry on, guys. Don't worry about me. I was just trying to sort the technical stuff out.
In respect to teaching, Val, what's the best way you found in helping your students to develop?
To be like them, to be natural, to be comfortable, to be relaxed, and make them realize that I've been through this. I know exactly what you're experiencing. Because I think a lot of people that I've come across who teach, they put themselves on a pedestal. Oh, I'm somebody special. And you can't do that, because you've got to let your students know that I tell them all, I used to sit in a development circle, and when they came to me, they'd go, what have you got? And I go, nothing. And I let them know that. So when they say, oh, I've got nothing, and I say, well, actually, yes, you have, because I can now see those people by the side of you. And that's lovely, because again, I had beautiful Brenda Lawrence, and she used to say, well, she put her hand on your shoulder and she'd blend her energies with you, and she'd say, right, I know that you've got da-da-da-da-da with you because I can see them. And I've learned to do that as well, which is, I think, is a lovely thing to do, because you know then that the student's on the right path.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a comment here from Dynamic Spirit. Ditto Aquarian here. When I said to my guide, why can't I go into trance? She said, you're too nosy. I completely agree. That is the thing, though, is because you love hearing what's being said.
Yeah.
And that's that, like, getting back to what Carol's point, how do you step back? How do you put that side? Because even when we spoke to Elaine Thorpe in the interview, there is always there's that little tiny part you'd hear. Elaine is, such a fantastic medium. She goes quite deep, but she still gets that. She hears the conversation, and me being nosy, I'm like, oh, what are they saying? It's really difficult. I guess the only way through that is perseverance and trying to be, trying not to be, basically putting your mind to one side and stepping out of that and letting go.
Yeah. I actually had Martin Colclough over here in Australia, and he was doing trance as well as mediumship. And he said, come on, you've got to give it a go. And what was really lovely was he did it differently to what I'd seen in the past. And he does sort of a light trance, but so he comes out of it and he knows some of the things that he said, but there's absolutely no doubt that he is in trance, because you can see his whole body has changed, his whole physique, and the way he's talking, and the things that he's saying as well. It's not Martin. So that's what I love. But yeah, I still have the fear about that. I don't know why, because I know that nothing to do with spirit can be frightening, because if you work with the right intention and, you know, love in your heart, and you've got that protection around you, I call it my sacred space, then, you know, you're okay. Nothing's going to happen to you.
So that's, again, we've spoken about this with many mediums. Do you believe in protection, that we need protection, Val, or is that something that we don't necessarily? It's more about us as a person?
Well, it is about you as a person. I was listening to a great interview with Gordon Smith the other day, and he said most of the demons are actually in here. We cause our own demons, and I understand that. But for some people, they need to know that they're okay and that they're safe. So, I mean, years ago, I used to do the protective bubble and know that nothing could get me, and I'm in my little bubble and I'm okay. And then I would invite spirit in, but I only invite in who I want, and anybody and everybody else has to stay outside. That's the way I used to deal with it, and I don't do that anymore, because I know it just happens, and I know that spirit will look after me. But yeah, you know, there are bad things out there if you want them to be out there, but if you don't, then they're not there.
Yeah.
And of course, those out there, our viewers who are interested in trance or learning, or want to take it to that next level, would you agree that you'd have to have someone who knows what they're doing to help that person the best possible way?
Absolutely. And the other thing that I would make a note of is that people are under a misconception that if you're doing trance work or you're doing mediumship work, it's the same energy, and trance energy is completely different to mediumship energy, because when it's like meditation. If you're doing meditation, your energies have to go lower, whereas when we're connecting to spirit, we have to raise that energy. And it's the same with trance. You lower that energy to be able to step aside and let spirit take over, whereas mediumship, we have to be hyper. That's what I call it. We have to be up there.
Yeah. Dynamic spirits, but energy follows thought. And also, this is Lawrence. Hi, Val. He's put.
Hi. Lawrence Saville. Yes, I know Lawrence. He joins me quite often.
Yeah, so he's moved his trance into healing so much better, he says. So that's interesting. Yeah.
Oh, he's dynamic spirit, of course. Yes. I love it when people have got different names and you don't recognize them.
I've tried my hardest to sort of feel that I'm going to sleep. A guide said to do it that way the other day, but I was hanging on by a string. This is from Carol again.
I wouldn't call it going to sleep. It's just putting your energies to one side. And I know the meditations that we used to do years ago were going down steps and then go to a platform and then going down more steps and staying on a platform and going down. And you could feel your body energy just lowering and lowering until you were in that nice, complete, relaxed state. And then you ask spirit to draw in. So don't go to sleep, because if you go to sleep, you're going to miss it all anyway. And you'll wake up and everybody will say, oh, you've been snoring and you didn't do anything. So it's not quite that sleep state.
So have you ever had the experience of when you can become completely detached from your body, Val? Well, you never can become completely detached unless you pass into spirit, but where you feel yourself coming away from your body?
I've had a couple of experiences like that, and I'm trying to think of one. I had something fairly recently. It's almost like I felt extremely lightheaded, and then I felt as if I was just floating around instead of being here. And I know it was something that spirit was trying to show me and trying to experience, but I didn't fully understand what that was. So I'm going to have to tap into that at a later date and try and find out what that's about. So if it's trance, sorry, I'm not doing it. Although whatever spirit wants you to do, you don't have a choice. I mean, it's like me coming here. I didn't have a choice. You know, they give you the directive, and that sounds like I'm a crazy woman, and I'm not. I'm a very grounded person. But when Spirit says this is what we want you to do, I think it's respectful to listen and think, okay, let's have a go. But if I'm meant to be doing trance in the future, maybe I need to think about that. But that out of body floating is a really weird thing. I've done that at night time as well. I know that I've, and that's a different thing altogether, because that's astrally traveling.
Yeah.
And I know that I wake up in the morning and I think, oh my gosh, where was I? What was I doing there? You know, but I love it. I love it. Whatever they want to do with me, I actually quite feel comfortable now. So it's not a problem.
Have you ever had any, I know it's probably something similar to what you've just explained, but out of body experiences in a similar kind of sense, or?
Well, I'd explain it the same way. Yeah, it's a very strange thing. I know sometimes when I've done meditation, that's happened to me. And I know when I've been doing my mediumship, it's almost like, well, the same as I said about going on the wall. It's almost like I'm over there watching myself. And then when I finish, it's Val's back here and it's, oh my gosh, what was all that about, sort of thing. And sometimes when I've done a mediumship demonstration, I don't well, a lot of the time I don't remember what I've said, because it's not about me. And that was a stepping stone, if you like. When years ago, my mediumship was like pulling teeth, and I think you'll understand what I mean about that. Oh, I've got this, I've got to give it to them. What does it mean? Do you accept it? And it was like a process. And then one day I literally opened my mouth and all this information's coming out of my mouth, and I'm looking around going, where did that come from? You know, it really frightens me. But now, when I do a mediumship demonstration, for instance, it's like they come in, Val gets pushed out there somewhere, and then I'm doing all of this stuff, and there's all this going on, and I'm aware of it all going on. But when I've finished, it's like, oh my gosh, all these people are looking at me, and what was all that about? You know, it's and I think that's lovely, because then I know that the demonstration was not about me. It was about spirit and spirit and spirit. So from spirit, through spirit to spirit, which is what I was taught many, many years ago.
Oh, okay. That's like an altered state process that you've explained, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But if you and what they showed us years ago, I learned that process for healing. So it was from spirit, through spirit to spirit. But the process is exactly the same, I feel, for mediumship, because I'm taking a spirit person. They're coming through my spirit to be able to give the information to the recipient spirit. So it's still a from, through, and to process.
Yeah.
Two questions here. Another one from Carol. Am I wrong to tell spirit they can use me any way they wish, as long as it's for good, light, and for my higher self?
In a controlled situation, yes. You don't want to be, you know, I'm here, take me. But when you're doing your work, yes, because that's exactly what I've done. I've just gone, okay, whatever you give me, I'm going to deal with, just bring it on. And I challenge them, but in a controlled way. So I'm now doing mediumship, spirit, I'm here. I'm now not doing mediumship, you go away. So I've got an on-off switch, and this is what I teach the students. When you're open, when you're on, then spirit can connect with you. And when you're closed, they've got to go away and leave you alone, because we have a physical life as well as doing the spirit work. There's a difference.
Yeah, and that's really important, isn't it, to do that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And a great question here from Sharon. Hi, Sharon. I often have deja vu. She's put, sorry, I can't spell. And I have vivid dreams when sleeping. Can these be linked, like having a premonition in your dreams?
Well, I believe so. The deja vu I have a lot of, and I've got used to it now. And I go, oh yeah, I've been here before. I've done this before. Yep, okay. But when I wake up and I've had a dream, and I go, okay, I need to pay attention to that. I write a lot of my dreams down, because it's either the astral travel and I've been shown things, or spirit's been teaching me things, or I've had a premonition of something that happened. And that I went through a phase of having a lot of premonition dreams. So I used to write them down, put them in a sealed envelope, date them, and then put them to one side. And a lot of them did actually come true. So that was quite interesting.
Wow.
So on that note, talking about dreams, I don't know if you have this, guys, but for me, sometimes I'll have communication from my guidance or my team. And I always know when it's from them and not my own psyche because of how I feel when I wake up.
Yeah.
How I feel that they're almost like they've left their essence with me. If they can feel that loving essence of them after the dream when I wake up. So that's something that people can be open to within their dreams. Although I had to kind of set the intention for that. And two people have said the same thing. She's had the same, Sharon, and Shirley has also said she had the same question. Sharon's put, my dreams mostly make no sense.
There must be sense in there somewhere.
But
they're always,
but don't you think sometimes they can get caught up in a bit of a psychic junk anyway? You know, when we come out, the whole stuff we process during the day, that kind of stuff. So there is a layer, I feel, we go through before we kind of get to something meaningful. For me, it's normally when I've gone to sleep and then woken up about 3 a.m, gone back into sleep. I'm not so deep, and that's when I get the communication.
Yeah.
I wake up at 3 a.m all the time. It's just occasionally.
Waking up I was going to say that waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning is when your body is at the nearest point to being in the spirit world than ever. It's that time, that's the nearest point to dying. That's how I explain it, because we've gone down to such a level. And that's when spirit can connect with us so easily. And that's why we wake up, because you think, oh, what's all that about? You know? And you do know when they're around. I love the fact that you said putting the intention out. I reckon that a lot of mediums don't do that with the work that they do. You know, I say to the students, if you want to work this way, you put the intention out there that this is what I'm going to do today. And I make my guys laugh because I used to have this argument with spirit, or this dialogue with them, and I go, I want the biggest and the best, and I want it now, please. So I call them golden nuggets, and I say, I just want the golden nuggets, please. Make sure that I do a good job. But I put the intention out, and it usually happens. So
How do you feel about, Sharon? Sorry to ask this question, but I kind of want to kind of get into what you feel is right and appropriate. If you come across information in a reading that, say, you knew a person was, say, adopted, or I had a similar situation where someone didn't know her father, but yet spirit was telling me the name of their father, and her mother was here, and they didn't know. The mother wouldn't tell her who her father was for whatever reason. What do you do? Do you not tell me? I kind of had a bit of an issue with that for me personally, whether to give that information. So if it's coming from spirit, or it's not from my psyche or a psychic part of me, would you give that information or not?
No, because sometimes I've had it's like, if you see I see energy with people as well when I'm doing readings, and if you see a black blob over their lungs and you think, oh, there's something going on in the lungs, it's not for me to tell them. It's for so if the people in the living haven't shared that information, then it's not for us. But if you say that I've got a male spirit that's around you that wants to share blah 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 with you, but doesn't tell you I'm your dad, and that sort of thing, it's a fine line, isn't it? We have to be very, very careful what we say.
It really is a fine line. But this is why I question the whole, because Charlie Kelly, a medium we've interviewed on here, I was listening to one of his tutorials as well, and videos he has online, and he said checking where the information comes from. But still, I still had a problem, even though I believed I was receiving it from the grandmother. But I did give it, and I felt afterwards that was probably wrong. I've got to be honest. So there is so many pitfalls within mediumship. You just have to be so careful. For instance, if I saw, like you said, something wrong physically with someone, I wouldn't say it, unless even if they're asking. And that's another question, really. But I have had people say to me, "Well, can you see when I'm going to pass? Can you see?" I've had people that are dying with cancer come to visit me. Can you see how I've got?
That's hard, isn't it?
Very hard. Very hard. only once have I ever gone that route, and it was somebody that I knew. She'd lost her husband, and then through cancer, and then she had cancer, and she said, I want to know that I'm going to be with him, and I want to know how long it's going to be. And I said, I can't do that. She said, I'm asking you to help me. And it was a beautiful, and I ended up doing a reading for her in the hospice, where, you know, she literally had moments or days to live. You know, it wasn't a long time at all. And afterwards, her family all said to me, thank you so much for giving her that peace of mind, which was beautiful. And then I got invited to the funeral, and it was incredible. But I wouldn't ordinarily do that. That was a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So talking about giving information, the number of times when I first started doing demonstrations, and I'd say, oh, I would like to come to the lady over there. I've got your father. I don't want to talk to him. And you think, oh, my goodness me. So, you know, you have to go back to spirit and say, okay, she doesn't want to talk to him. I need to connect to her. So who else is going to step forward? And I'm thinking of one particular time, and grandmother stepped forward and continued to give this lovely lady a message. And at the end, she came up to me and she said, was that really my dad? I'm so sorry I didn't speak to him. And I said, you got the message from your nan that you were going to get from your dad anyway. So, and she was so happy because it had given her so that obviously something had happened in their life that she didn't want to talk to her dad. Yeah. But the reading that she got put that right. And it was a healing process. So she felt so much better, and she said, thank you so much. She said, just what I needed. So, but you do have to be very careful. You know, you get people throwing things or shouting at you or swearing at you, you know, because they don't want to have these things said to them. I've had it all. I can tell you, I've had it all.
Yeah. So my guys, my computer's gone on a real go slow tonight. Here you go. Julianne's put, I would rather be told if you picked up something bad so I could sort the issue if possible, but then it does put a lot of pressure on us, and it's appropriate. But then some people say you just got to trust in the intelligence of spirit. So that's a difficult, there's so many different repercussions, and I have that is something that I struggle with, definitely.
And of course, the recipient who's sitting in front of you, that is some person you just know, I can't say that because, you know, that's not appropriate.
But there are ways around it. I mean, the number of times I've had something similar and I said, oh, have you got a bit of an issue with your tummy at the moment? You know, maybe you need to go and ask somebody about that. And that's a way around it, rather than saying, oh, I see a black spot, I think you've got cancer, because you can't do that. You can't do that.
No. Yeah, I mean, hi, Rhonda. Rhonda's put on here, would you ever tell a family member? Again, it's whether that family member, for me, would want to receive that information.
You know, same kind of answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
But think about what is mediumship for? What is mediumship about? And for me, it's about upliftment. It's about enlightenment. It's about your loved ones are still in the spirit world. They can still connect with you. They can still help you. They're still sharing their love and their advice and guidance. And for me, that's important. It's not about, and even if the person that you're connecting to is somebody that you absolutely hated when they were here, there's a reason for them coming through, like the dad. It was a healing process. But other than that, no.
Yeah, great comment from Carol. Yes, we get your point, Carol. You could save a life by getting someone to go into the DP. It could be just what they need at that particular time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and Sharon has put on here. I've got the wrong one. Just jumped out. Sorry. Is that you, mate? Are you jumping on there? I keep clicking on it and it's not working tonight.
No, I'm not touching it.
Gone like really slow. So unless you're forewarned, clients at the beginning of session, that there may be info come forward that they may not want to hear.
I don't even do that. I don't even do that, because listen, you know, majority, and you know, guys, you know, when somebody comes for a reading, they want advice, they want guidance, they want positivity, they want to know that life is going to be good, or better than it is at the moment, and that's what we've got to try and do. And spirit do not want to bring doom and gloom. So if they can bring it and say, you know, oh, you know, you're having upset tummy at the moment, maybe you need to go and get it sorted out. That's the way around it. But you can't say, oh, you've got so and so.
Yeah.
Rachel Arnold has put a good comment. It's important to remember what its purpose is and its immense responsibility. And I'd say to anybody that wants to come into mediumship, why? What is your motivation to come into mediumship? And understand the process and what we do. I always think if you're directly healing, I always think that's way up there. I mean, what we do, part of that healing process, giving messages. But for me, I don't know, hands-on healing doesn't have to be hands-on, any form of healing. It's just right up there. So
well, they said at Arthur Findlay, didn't they, Paul? Healing with words. About
messenger. Yeah, the messenger, absolutely. Carol Phillips has put, why would Spirit tell you these things if they weren't meant to know? Good question.
And it is a good question. But then the Spirit, as you said, clever. They know you're not going to say you've got cancer. They know that you're the person that's going to turn around and say, oh, I've got a bit of an issue here. If you had upset tummy or whatever, go and get it sorted out. They know that you'll word it in a way.
Yeah, I've certainly had lots of experiences of that. Absolutely. But I guess, but then that could also be a process of your own communication with your team, that you get it in a literal form, because maybe it's a part of you that's not trusting them. So you literally get it as it is. So you've got that hard evidence, that hard feeling, and that emotion that comes with it will help you to kind of cement the message. I don't know. I think it's more about your own relationship. Carol's put, Spirit are pure and speak the truth, don't they? Yeah, I guess so. But like you said, I think it's more about, Carol, more about how you interpret that. I think we're all right in saying that, aren't we?
Yeah.
And also the trust we have with our Spirit team as well, isn't it? The trust that comes into the evidence with, if you know, with, of course, caution with what we've been talking about earlier too.
And I think it's also about the personal integrity of each of the mediums, and not everybody has that same integrity. I personally wouldn't do anything horrible like that because I don't think it's the right thing to do. But I've seen so many people who call themselves mediums who actually do that, and it is awful. Some of the things that I've seen and heard are awful. And I think, you know, we do, as somebody said, we have a huge amount of responsibility, and we have to work with ethics and integrity. Those two things are extremely important for me, and it sounds like for you too as well.
Yeah. But it does, I guess that says more about them as a person. It's more about show.
Ah, yes.
I've found a lot of mediums to go for the sensational.
Yeah. I agree.
And I think that's where the show busy side comes in, and it takes it away from the message, really. But
that's sort of ego again as well, isn't it? In that sense.
Yeah.
But I love it when you connect to people and you bring through their personalities, and they're either a miserable old devil or they were really fun, and you know, and you can have fun, but you can have fun with that as well. Even when you've got somebody who comes through as a real miserable old devil when they were, you can have a laugh about that too. And for me,
it is a right for a man when they get over 40 to become quite miserable.
No.
Here we go. Lawrence, I think it's Lawrence. Not everything given needs validation. It may be to prompt you to engage in a conversation. Well said.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's funny because I'm actually writing a book at the moment, and I'm taking the conversation slightly away from what we're talking about. And one of the things that I've been writing about is, why am I here in Australia? So what do you do when Spirit suddenly screams at you one day when you're about to lose everything? And I had £1 in my purse. I was about to lose my business and my house and everything. And the voices in your head, crazy woman, say, I want you to give up your business. I want to give up your home. I want to give up your country. And you've got to go to Australia to teach. And I went, what? How is that going to happen? I was 54 when that happened. So I had no skills or qualifications to bring out here. So I was not acceptable in any way, shape or form. But I did it and I listened. But in the process, I was talking to you earlier and saying that it was so difficult, because when things were very, very difficult, and the immigration here said, you've got 28 days to leave the country, and said that to me twice, I'm saying to Spirit, what are you doing? You told me to get here. Pull your finger out and make this happen. And it was a really, really tough process, but I trusted what they said to me. Now I'm not one of those mediums that goes, oh, spirit says and spirit says and spirit says, and there's too many of those. And I know at that point I actually trusted spirit enough to, okay, let's put it down in the diary and just see what happens. And here I am, proof of, oh gosh, it worked, and I'm really glad, because I felt like I came home when I came over here. So
I was going to say, because that's a bit of a punt. You're getting a message from spirit saying you need to be in Australia. You'd be like, hang on. I know I'd be like, I don't like spiders and snakes. So it's going to take a lot to get me out there, spirit.
Yeah, and the jellyfish.
Oh yeah, everything actually pretty much kills you. But
everything.
A friend of mine, he spent a lot of time in Australia in his student days. I believe I'm right in saying that, in his early 20s in Australia. He said it was a very spiritual experience. So I imagine it's a beautiful place.
It is an amazing place. And I know you mentioned we've got the flooding at the moment, and some people they've had 4 lots of flooding and lost everything 4 times this year.
Wow.
And this is a once in a lifetime event. I mean, this year's been phenomenal. And also, at the end of my driveway, I walked out the other day because we'd had the most incredible winds, and there was roof blown off, windows out, power pole caught on fire. It was incredible. All the fences down. So we had a tornado came through here, which is absolutely unheard of. So yeah, but I have met the most amazing people. I have done the most incredible work, and I have shared with so many. They just are the most incredible people. I know you said that you've been here as well, Anthony, and it is an incredible country.
Yeah, it's what the people for me. You just embody that with the positivity and the energy, and everyone's out to naturally, be there for each other with that connection.
It's always, mate, it's always sunny though, isn't it?
No,
most of the time.
Depends where you are.
It's raining over here, so yeah, we are jealous, but that's brilliant. That is amazing to have that trust and to stay there when you're being threatened to come home. So we look forward to the book. What's the book called, Val?
Oh, I haven't got a title for it yet. I'm working on that, because I've actually got, I was looking at what I've actually got, and I've got 3 books, but I'm working with somebody at the moment, and we've got to work out which one's going to go out first, and then what it gets called. But it's going to be an interesting thing for me to do. I did one many years ago, but anyway, it's all good, and it's sharing my experiences, because again, there are so many people. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't leave my job. Oh, I can't. I've got to balance everything. I need to be a wife and mother. I can't step out on my own. And I did all of those things. I had no money. I stepped out on my own at an older age. I mean, 54 was a huge age to be stepping out and doing something like this on your own. And the number of people, especially family, they go, "You're crazy. What are you doing that for? What are you going all the way over there for?" And my family still go, "What are you doing there?" But I'm happier than I've ever been in my life. It's just I'm doing my own thing and getting on with things. But it is wonderful. But there's that total trust in the work that you have to do with spirit. Whether it says, "I want you to be a teacher at the Arthur Findlay College," or "I want you to go and run your own church," or "I need you to set up a development circle." All of those things take huge commitments, and a huge responsibility goes with all of those. But coming the other side of the world, guys, what are you doing?
I love that. Sharon's just put a suggested book title, "Just Do It."
I love it. Yeah.
Well, just let us know and we'll come out. Paul and I will come out to support you.
Yeah, we'll come.
Give us another opportunity.
Any excuse. Yeah. Okay. Sharon's also asked, did you do this all on your own? That was a burning question in my head as well, Sharon.
Yes.
Was you on your own? Oh my gosh.
Yes. My children had all grown up, and I was single at that point, and I literally did it all on my own. And then I was only going to come in and do 3 months here and then go home. and then I got offered a job within a company working for a magazine as a speaker, and that all went pear-shaped. And then I met somebody, and that all went pear-shaped. And I don't know. I ended up with the most incredible immigration agents who got me over the line, which was the most incredible experience. But I didn't know how it was going to happen.
Yeah,
that sounds a spiritual story in itself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let us know the title of the book once it's all sorted, and we'll buy a copy.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
We can share it into our group on Facebook.
Yeah,
we're very grateful. We've got about 2,000 followers on there. Always grateful for the support. So we're coming up to that time, guys, where we start to do messages. Val, how are you feeling? Would you like to give it a go, or?
Yeah, maybe I'll let you go first.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to put the banners up. Guys, please keep sharing, because there is also an opportunity for you to win a free reading. So I did Serena yesterday. I believe you did Julianne as well.
I did today. Well, I did two today, actually.
I did two as well. Emma as well. I did her as well. She won a free reading. So all caught up now, mate. So we'll get
your turn now, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll get Val to. Have you got anybody with you, mate?
Not at the moment.
No, nor have I. So I'm not sure what's going on.
I'll go because I've got a lady that's bugging me here, so I'm just going to go with this.
That'll be why.
Yeah, and it's funny because she's doing this, and I know she worked with her hands, and I know I was showing you my tailor's dummy, and this room doubles up as an office plus a sewing room, and I've got a lady who loves to sew, and it's really funny because I'm looking at my machines, and she just wants to hop over there. I do feel as if it's a mum. I feel that she's a very capable lady. She could turn her hands to most things. I'm not just creative with fabric and yarn, I'm creative with color as well. And I know that it's funny, I know I've got a croaky throat, but I know that I've got an issue here with this lady. So I know that there would have been difficulties with her being able to communicate before she's passed. Now, she's showing me a photograph of herself, and I want to say, what a glamorous lady. She loves her hair to be just so. I'm not going to be stepping out if I don't look the part. I do. Okay, so with this issues around this throat, upper respiratory situation, I know that I've got a feeling of nausea, and I know that I can't get food down. That's what I'm feeling here. I'm not a very tall lady. I know she was really beautiful, and whoever this is for has been rummaging through photographs. So I know that I'm just looking through and flicking through photographs, and I know that there's a beautiful picture of her mum going to an event is what I'm being shown here.
Okay, we've got Cheryl. She says, it sounds like my grandmother. I've just shared the link, Cheryl, not on that page, although I'm not sure if I can get it into the group that you're coming from. If you bounce on to the Spiritual Talk, or actually my page, Anthony's page.
Yeah.
Christina also, she might come in a different way. Christina says it's potentially her aunt as well. Christina, if you want to come in, lovely if you recognize this information.
So the lady that I've got is, she feels more motherly. So if it's not mum, then she would have spent a lot of time around you, doing the mothering with you. So you know, like your mum shows you how to do things. This is this lady. She is one of those that wants to pass on her skills. But I know that's such a warmth and such a love with this lady as well. I just heard the name. It sounded like Doris. I just heard the name Doris as well that just got mentioned to me. And I know that she's from the UK also. Amelia. Okay. I do feel it. Yeah, I do feel it's more mum, but I know, and would you also understand Amelia, if it's for you, I know that she would have made fancy garments. So she's showing me like ball gowns or wedding dresses or bridesmaids dresses, that sort of thing. Would you understand that? Because it feels as if it's not just, you know, running up a seam, it's doing something pretty fancy. But I do feel that this is feels like a cancerous or a deteriorating illness that she's got here as well. There's something also about she loves her shoes. This is mum. This is definitely mum. I'm hearing she's telling me mum. Okay. She made clothes, it not fancy. Okay. But she would have thought they were fancy. Would you also understand? I'm going to stick with Amelia on this one because I feel that that's right. Would you also feel that she didn't have a lot of money to throw away, so the making of clothes was important?
Not sure if it's her mum.
You don't think it's her mum? Okay.
We've got somebody else coming on the screen. Oh no, they've just disappeared.
It was Linda then.
Yeah, Amelia, I feel it's for you. And so the she had to make ends meet. She had to spread her pennies, and I know that that's why she would have done the sewing a lot. But I'm also being shown she would have made things for other people as well, and she would have helped out other people. She's got such a community spirit. I just want to be out there for everybody. But I know that I've got this deteriorating. It feels like cancer before she's passed. Okay. But I know that she couldn't communicate at that very end. Okay, she couldn't communicate at the very end. Okay. But she says to say to you, she knows that you were with her, and I know that I've got that final kiss because she's showing me that. Would you understand that, Amelia? Because I feel that that's quite important. She knew that you'd done that. She knew what you did after she passed. She's also telling me she knew what you put in her coffin as well, because I know that there are things that are placed in her coffin. But she wants to say thank you because all of those things would have really, when she was physically here, they would have really touched her heart. And I just also want to say she's giving you an awful lot of upliftment at the moment. And she says, please, like we were talking about me, go for it, do it anyway. And I know that you're in a state where you're, I'm indecisive. And I just want to say to you, do it. Don't think about it, just do it. And that's all she wants to come and say is just do it, do it, do it. Okay. Because she feels like she was somebody that she had to just get on with things and do things. So Amelia, I'm just going to leave her there with you. She's just such a lovely energy. She's bouncing. She's almost like she wants to just jump across and get on my machines here. Okay. Great.
Stephen's coming. Hi, Stephen. He was our guest last week. Hi, Stephen. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Bless you. Okay, who wants to go next? I've got someone, if not, mate.
You go first. That's fine.
I'm just worried that I bounced in on that last link, but I'm just going to bring this lady because I've also got a lady with me as well. And yeah, it was a great day. Can I give you the controls, mate?
Go for it.
Yeah, awesome. So, guys, if you want to come in, please come in on the link that we've shared. We'd love to hear from you. I've got a lovely lady here. She's telling me that I know she wouldn't have been very big. She's quite a petite lady. I don't know why, but she's comparing herself to a bit like a Mary Berry. I know she's a wonderful cook, and she brings that essence in with her. Very gentle, very loving lady. I'm trying not to be too cliche about this. I see Val yawning. You're doing so well, Val, because it's still like 5:30 in the morning there, isn't it? You've done so well to stay with us today. We really appreciate it. This lady keeps prodding me as well. Don't lose your attention. Connection. So I couldn't help it. I was seeing you. I tried to hide a yawn, but I was really feeling a sympathy for you. This grandmother, I feel it's a grandmother link as well. The way she's coming in, the way she's talking. I know she would have come from a large family. She's trying to give me also the name. And when she gave me the Mary Berry analogy in terms of her cooking and being around family, but the name Mary is also evident. Also the name Emma as well. She gave me the name Emma as well that connects to her. Also, okay. And I know the person this is connecting to, I believe there's been a recent loss within the family as well. I know there's been, I know there's been a loss within the family recently. She's making me aware of that. I believe it's around a gentleman that has passed into spirit recently, but she's making me aware of the loss and the grief within the family. Mary is my godmother. Okay. Do you understand the recent loss as well, Jenny? Hi, Pamela. She's in New South Wales in Australia. Great to join us. We've got some people coming from Australia. Great effort. I'm going to keep going with this, Jenny. Do you understand this information as grandmother? Especially she's quite petite. She's got the grey hair. I know she would have had a cancerous condition. She's also making me aware of issues around her tummy. But she's also making me aware of the grief and what's happening at the moment. I also know this lady. Yes. Okay. She's also making me aware of people putting a little bit, again, similar to the last connection that we had. This lady, oh, someone's waving at me. I don't know who that was.
I was saying hello to Jenny Doherty.
Okay. No, Jenny. Okay, brilliant. My nephew passed. Okay. Would you understand this lady was also quite thrifty with money as well? She looking after the pennies, and the dollars or the pounds look after themselves. Okay. So, and that's very much a philosophy with her. That I felt she would have passed on to family as well. But looking after the little things are really important. It's almost like a tidy house, tidy mind, but it kind of, she tried to extend that out into the family. I also feel she's making me aware the gentleman that had passed was a law unto himself. Okay, very much larger than life, very loving gentleman, and I know there is a recent passing, and I know I'm being told that time is a great healer. Okay, I know this gentleman will be sadly missed. She's also trying to give me a birthday in June and July. Birthdays in June and July, but I'm also aware that someone's been quite poorly on this side of life. She's making me aware someone hasn't been well this side of life as well, and she wants to pass this on. Also, I'm aware of, she's talking about mum, hers. Okay. Did you want to come in, Jenny? That would be fantastic. Can you see the link and jump in? That would be fantastic. Okay. There's also oh gosh, I've got so many here. I don't want to be greedy because we'll get in as many as we can. It's her birthday, but there's she's given me 2 months though. She's given me June and July that she's thinking of, and I'm also aware of an anniversary around the end of July, beginning of August, around about the 2nd or 3rd. She's trying to put into my mind as well. I haven't brushed my hair. Oh, bless you. Okay, it is probably is Jenny from Australia?
No, she's a very good friend of mine. She comes out and works with me, and I work with her when I come to the UK.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I love Jenny.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jenny, for joining us. Can I leave this lady's love for you? I could. There's quite a few coming in from Spirit side. I just want to leave their love with you. She wanted to acknowledge this recent passing as well. I know this gentleman is okay. I know there's been people thinking about this gentleman. She's also symbolically giving you a white rose. And I think it's about inner peace for yourself. Okay, please take that white rose and their love from Spirit. God bless.
I just want to say I wasn't yawning, I was coughing.
Oh, you was coughing. Well, I don't know how because I'm not a morning person, Val.
No, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine.
You're brilliant. Because I'm like, I struggled to work before 10 o'clock. Honestly.
Still asleep.
Oh, Jenny's put out. I'm so sorry for your loss, Jenny. But thank you. Okay, mate. How you doing?
RTO. Okay. Right, everyone. I've got a gentleman that's made himself aware to me, to my energy. And as he comes in, I do feel this man is got like it's got a bit of a story, to be honest. Oh, good, Sharon. Okay. Yeah, I've got this gentleman's come in and he's saying his life is a bit of a story. I do feel that this man, I know, Val, you're thinking about writing a book, but this man is making me aware that he could have write a book about his own actual life story. I feel his life he's saying his life is making me feel it could have been a movie. I do get connections with this man to do with a military sense about him. Okay, so I'm not actually getting anything in respect to any type of particular organization at this very moment in time, but I see this man very well, very smart and dressed in his youth, in his younger years. But at the same time, as he comes in, he's making me aware towards the end of his life. I do feel this this gentleman would have been on quite a lot of different types of medication, and he's making me aware that he's put weight on to do with the medication that he had, or different types of medication that he had, in his body. I do feel this gentleman is making me aware of two people that are listening to the show tonight that he's got a connection with. And as he comes in, I do feel there's a genuine understanding about showing love, because he does make me aware that he is quite a closed character. I don't feel this man would have been a huggy, sort of tactile person. I do feel he's a man's man, and he kept his emotions to himself, quite reserved in his way that he carries himself. I do, in that sense. He is showing me shoes. It's interesting. I feel from a perspective that he is into his shoes that he's showing me. I do feel the very shiny shoes he's showing me, as he's making me look down at my own feet in my mind, and I'm seeing these shoes that look like they've been shined and buffed, and well, it looked like glass, the shoes that I'm seeing as I look down. I do feel this man, there is connections of trauma around the chest here as well. And it's interesting, he's given me the word of trauma. Oh, hi, Serena. Hello again. And okay, it could be a granddad. Oh, fair enough. It's interesting because he gives me pressure around the chest area, Serena, if you can understand this. And it feels like a crushing sensation around my chest as he's given me this feeling. Maybe my dad, Bridget. Okay, that's fine. And as he comes in, I do feel this man, because he's showing me two ages. He's showing me when he was younger with like darker brown hair but thick hair. But as he's older, he's showing me his age, his transformers, a bit like these age software on the internet where they age a person. Yep. And he's showing me it going backwards and forwards, young, then older, then young, then older. And I do feel this man was not bald, but I do feel he was thinning. Not too sure about the chest. Well, to me, Serena has given me this crushing feeling. So whether it feels like fluid on the lungs, or I feel like I'm not a doctor, but it feels like I'm looking inside the chest as he's showing it to me in my mind, down the tubes, down the inner parts of the lung. It feels like there's fluid or mucus in that kind of sense. And I do feel that I'm wheezing, and I do feel that my breathing is labored, and that's his words, not mine. He does come in with this sense of love though as well, and he is making me aware about his passing around the Christmas period, around the December period. I'm getting drawn to December with this man as well. Okay, Amelia, right, okay. There's three of you. I don't feel this man died of a young age. I do feel that he would have passed at an older age. His lungs would feel, definitely, Bridget, filled with fluid. I mean, he's showing me that inside of his lungs as I look inside. My eyes are like a blooming microscope going down his throat into his lungs, which is really interesting.
So I'm going to throw a curveball in, mate, because I can take all of that.
Okay.
My father passed just after Christmas.
Okay, right. So, literally a few days after Christmas, Paul.
Yeah, it was the 10th of January.
Amelia, he wasn't 47 at the age of passing. I feel he was definitely older than that as a man.
The hair color was my dad. The thinning was my dad.
Thinning through here. Just
medication you talked about as well.
Right.
And the shoes. He always polished his shoes, shiny shoes.
Right.
And I can feel it. It might be. I don't want to take it because I'd rather give it to the audience, but it might be. Just letting you know, mate.
Okay, no worries. Okay. I did get the smell of tobacco a minute ago, but I don't feel that this man would have smoked all of his life. I feel that it got to a point where he couldn't actually. I feel that I enjoy smoking.
Oh, yeah.
Even though.
Well, he had one or two a day because he couldn't really smoke properly at the end.
Okay.
But they said they'll carry me out in a coffin. I'm not giving up smoking.
It's like, it's, but it feels to me,
did, basically.
It feels to me that I love it and I don't want to give it up, even though I know it's actually killing me.
Yeah.
And it's the fluid on my lungs. I do feel this is more towards the medication side of it, or the problems that he had after the any other types of problems that he had previously to the smoking or anything like that. I do feel that I'm sort of drowning in my own fluid with
Bridget's still coming back. Bridget's still coming back with this.
He tripped over his shiny shoes and broke his back. He had to quit, but he loved smoking. Yeah, because 1 minute I feel that I'm smoking, and then I can't. I'm not allowed to, and because I'm not allowed to do with my overall health, I still want to because I love it, but I know that I have to stop it for. And to be honest, if he had the choice, he would have carried on till his dying day of smoking, even though it was bad for him. And he's got this. It's like I've got two minds. I want to, even though it's bad for me, but I have to because of other issues and other sense. Okay. Also, going back, all of you are still listening. I just feel this man. He's got so many stories. I feel that I do feel this is the army. I do feel it's the army because I feel now that the uniform is of a browner material, and I do feel that this man went abroad as well.
Yeah, he went to Egypt in the army.
This is your connection there, Grandad. Anyone before I completely work with my my host rather than anyone on this that I felt
on the planet. To be fair, mate.
Yeah, yeah. And I just feel that he's telling me he trained in barracks in the UK, and he's saying that he went abroad with more than one comrade, and that is his saying, comrade. That wouldn't have been my saying in that respect as well. No one else has come.
We know a comrade
as a best mate as well. He's referring to.
It was when I was little,
right?
So it could be that.
And he's also making me aware of someone in hospital in the past who would have had an it feels like an aneurysm or some kind of brain operation.
That was me.
Fluid on the brain or something.
Well, you know, I got operation on the brain.
Oh, it's you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay, Paul. Can you work with me?
Give it a go, mate.
Right.
I have to warn you, I can be difficult.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I just feel this man is very dry humour.
Oh, so Bridget has put down her brain tumour.
Oh,
well, we're really going to go for this one.
Right, I thought I was with Paul then, Bridget.
But can she take the army though and go abroad?
Yeah, Bridget. This gentleman, as he was in spirit, was around his son or grandson or a male that's related to him, and he was watching around the operating theatre as his son or grandson was having the brain surgery or surgery on the skull, because he's showing me the operating theatre and showing it to me from his perspective from spirit, which is really interesting. I can see that the people around the bed in the operating theatre while the person is under anaesthetic, and I can see them with the cloths over their face, with the J cloths on their head, and I do feel them they're going in with some kind of laser or something into the skull as well.
Mate, what do you feel then? Where do you think you're going with this? Because me and Bridget are taking this. She can take army, but she said her dad was 47.
Yeah, I feel I'm with you, Paul, but the thing is, I don't know about this gentleman. We've never had a discussion about this before. So before anyone thinks this is a setup, it's not, because I don't know about your family in that respect.
No, you don't at all. No, we don't. Bridget said he was 77, not 47.
Oh, you got it wrong, Bridget.
Yeah, mine was 76.
Right.
Interesting.
Right. Okay. Can you take? I still feel I'm with you, Paul. Really, but
okay.
Bridget, can you understand that this lovely gentleman who's talking about he's not his best friends but his comrades, and I feel that I'm going abroad in the army with this man, and I do feel that I'm having to stop the cigarettes, and then from 1 minute smoking like a trooper to that's his words, not mine. and then from that point onwards, I'm not, even though I want to, but I can't.
She did take that. She did take that.
Oh, right, she did take that because funny you should say 47. He's saying he would have passed at that age if he carried on smoking, but he gained a few extra years. I do feel this man's got such a dry sense of humor. He could be a comedian, this man. He could be on stage, because he reminds me of a comedian that wouldn't break into a laugh or a smile. He's deadpan.
Is he giving you one?
Say again?
Is he giving you a certain comedian?
Yeah, I can't remember his name, Paul.
Well, describe it.
He's very sort of looks very miserable. This guy that's on stage as a comedian, and he's quite old fashioned. I don't think he does comedy anymore.
Oh, he's dead. Well,
like Jeffro or someone like that. Jeffro.
No, it's not Jeff. No, don't guess. No, definitely not.
No, it's that kind of person. You know, it's like old school.
It's Tommy Cooper. He was massive fan.
Right. Okay.
If you bring Tommy Cooper, then it's definitely my dad. Oh, Sharon's put Dave Allen. We're all going for it.
Neither of those is what I was thinking. I can't think actually.
Actually, he did actually, Sharon. He did actually love Dave Allen as well, which is really interesting. I used to sit and watch it with my dad.
Right.
Well, that was a bit inappropriate for me at that age.
This guy. So I'm going to say this guy is this gentleman in spirit. Can you understand this man when he laughed a lot? His head shined, looked like he was sweating.
Not sure.
It's like I'm suddenly broken out into a sweat because I'm laughing so much. I feel that this man would also laugh at someone else's expense as well. Like if someone tripped over, he'd laugh at them or something.
Oh yeah, like that. Yeah. Right. That's a family thing. That is. Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
And it feels a bit like Morecambe and Wise kind of thing. Someone would trip each other up. And he is referring to that kind of comedy as well now.
Again,
as well.
He would love that. Yeah.
I'm getting the name of Jerry, or if that's short for Gerald or something like that. He's given me that name as well. Carol, I know you're asking for names. Okay, that's fine. And I am getting the name of Andrew now as well coming in that he's referring to.
Don't know on that one.
Okay, right. I don't, with you, Paul, or someone else at the moment.
I don't know. You think you got a double link?
No, no, I haven't. He's also he's making me aware of the sister as well, around the gentleman who had the brain surgery. He's saying that there's a sister involved with the gentleman who had the brain surgery as well. And I feel that this gentleman also didn't believe in spirit when he was physically alive. I feel that once you're dead, you're dead. That's it. And when he's now in spirit, it's like, whoa, how wrong was I? You know, I've had my eyes opened, he's saying as well. All right, there's still yeses from Bridget. Okay, absolutely fine. Okay. He's right. Can anyone that is taking this man can understand a mirror that's been broken or glass? Because I can hear like a smashing of glass or glass breaking around the home that this gentleman's making me aware of as well. It feels like something's been dropped and smashed because I can hear like cracking or breaking glass as well.
Oh, I hope not. I'm having my windows done.
Bridget, can you take the glass as well? Whether it's glasses in the glasses or it's to do with something that's been broken. He's aware of glass that's breaking as well.
I'll have to ask my mum.
Right. I'm going to leave this connection. I could go on all night, but as the time is going on a bit, but I do feel that, I feel I was more with you, Paul, but oh, yes, my daughter's glasses. Right. Okay, that's completely thrown me off. So Paul, you didn't say about the broken glass, mate. So
I did drop my glasses about 4 times today, but that's not me.
No, it's definitely smashing glasses what did it. Yes, my daughter's glasses from Bridget. Can you take that in the last week, Bridget? Like in the last week, since last week's spiritual talk till now, this is when this gentleman in spirit is mentioning the broken glass. So, and you're saying broken glasses in glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll take their love. I'm sure
Oh,
Bridget.
yes,
will take
there
their
we
love.
go. Oh,
There you
thanks,
go.
Bridget. We got there in the end.
We did. Yeah.
Thank you ever so much for working me, both of you. And
good evidence, mate.
At making you work hard for it.
Yeah.
Thanks ever so much.
Yeah. So can we ask you a quick question, Val, to finish?
Yeah.
What is next for you?
Oh, I don't know. It's really weird because Spirit has told me to pull back. And it's funny because I worked on Monday morning, Monday night, Thursday night, Saturday and Sunday. And all of a sudden, I'm not doing anything. And I'm twiddling my thumbs. So there's something coming. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I know the new year is going to bring me the book and new mentoring. So I've just done a mentoring course and it was better than I thought it was ever going to be. And I know the students are going, but we want you. And I'm going, well, I need to pull back for me. So yeah, the new year is going to be the new year is going to be when it's all going to happen. But I need to just, as I say, sit and write, get this all done, plan the new courses and then go from there.
Do you do courses online as well, Val?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. My mentoring course this time was online,
right? Okay.
And I had students from all over the world, which was fantastic. So yeah, if anybody's interested, let me know, and I'll let you have the details.
So it's still a mentorship program you're doing. You're still doing it. Okay,
right.
Awesome. And how long does that last for?
It's a 4-month course. So it's 36 hours of training. Which is pretty hard doing it online. But I'm very aware of that.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I was going to say how people find that working online. Is that something you've kind of fallen into with the online world?
Yeah, well, 2.5 years ago when, the pandemic hit and it was, what do I do? And I actually came back from the UK and I went straight into lockdown. So I thought, well, what am I going to do? I need to still work. So I started my live and I did it at 10 o'clock every morning for 15 days. And then when I got to day 15, I said, right, that's it. I'm out of lockdown now. And everybody went, but we still want to listen. So I did it once a week. And then I did the teaching online as well. And I put the mentoring program together and that was just incredible. So there were students from 6 months to 2 years of training. And with the intensity of the course, I can't believe where they got. So yeah, I want to continue with that.
That's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Well, we can't thank you enough for coming on from all the way from Australia, from Sydney. But can you see the comments on your computer?
I can't.
Oh, to your right.
Okay. There should be some comments. I didn't know if you could see. We need to pick a winner for the free reading. So, mate, did you want to pick one?
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody you don't recognize as well? Anybody who's not had one? That'll be great. Don't forget to say shared. If you shared, guys, let us know you've shared. If we can get that on.
Lucy Orlando.
Lucy Orlando. That's well, I'm doing a reading for her very, very soon.
Oh, right. Shall we change it then?
I don't know.
Can you go to somebody with the letter C?
Oh,
okay. I haven't come across the C yet. Might be all night. Oh, Christina from earlier, Pasqualini.
Pasqualini, you know who Christina is?
Yeah, we know her.
Yeah, she's also a medium. I've watched her work. She's very good. So no pressure on me. So well done. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, Val. A really, really good evening.
I've really enjoyed it. You've got great energies, you two, and what you're doing is fantastic. And keep doing what you're doing, because you've got we were talking about ethics and professionalism earlier on. You've got that, and it's very, very important that we keep the standards high. I think Paul and I were talking before we came on air. Sorry, I'm going on about
time.
Okay, but during lockdown, everybody and their uncle was doing mediumship. Yeah. They said mediumship, and it was shocking. The levels and the standards were appalling, and that's what prompted me to do the online mentoring course. But it's so refreshing that a lot of those have dropped off, and something like this is coming out from people. So, you know, there were also lots of, Jenny and I have talked about this so many times, you know, you go online and do an online demonstration, you'd have blank screens until they got a message and then they'd come on, or people behind the blank screens were doing things that they shouldn't, and then the camera would suddenly come on, you know, it was just, and Jenny actually saw that. But it is really nice to see the way you're dressed, the backgrounds that you've got, and the way you present yourselves as well. So I actually commend you on that one, guys, and you're doing a fantastic job. Well done.
Oh, thank you, Val. It means a hell of a lot.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. That's brilliant. And we really started this to get information out there into the world. So, guys, we really appreciate you sharing. It gets these interviews out there. We've got so many interviews now. I think you're number 67, Val. That's how many are going. So all available on YouTube. Check out our YouTube pages, and there's some great advice as well from all the lovely mediums and healers and other people too we've got on there. So check out our YouTube pages. But for now, all we can say is good night, everyone, and we'll see you this time next week.
Good night, everyone.
Okay, everybody. Bye. Bye.
Bye.